Hello and welcome to another C3 Stingray video. This is the fifth part and final part of this complete interior replacement series on this 84 Corvette. Works for 84 to 89, but there's a lot of information in here for all the years. In this episode we're going to reupholster those seat cushions and put them back in. So if you haven't subscribed, you need to subscribe and like the channel because, as I said, there are 5 videos altogether for a complete with carpet, taking everything out, putting the carpet in, reupholstering the seats, and I also have an additional video for the headliner replacement.
How about that?
So there's a lot of information here, so you really need to subscribe to the channel. But let's just get into Chapter 5, reupholstering the seats.
I got my leather-like seat covers on eBay at a place called Full Throttle Corvette, and they're showing here now. I just took this ad off and it's $519 plus another $25 in shipping. When I bought them, I paid $372 and that was shipping, taxes, and everything. So I'm not sure why the price went up $170 since I bought them last year. And the other problem with that place is it took over a month, like almost a month and a half, to get them after I ordered them. So you probably want to check around, but the prices are pretty high on these things. Well, as you can see, I'm in my kitchen now. I like to take all my upholstery work inside where I can put the cushions on my island in the kitchen and sit down and watch a movie while I'm pulling out hog rings, because there's a lot of hog rings in this thing. Hog rings all the way around the sides, down the middle, and there's a ton of them. So it's nice to sit and watch a movie inside while you're pulling out these hog rings. You know, and I have a pick and hook set. I got a heavy duty set, which, you know, I've been using to burn holes in the carpet and stuff. They're nice to have. You can kind of work those hog rings loose a little bit and then grab them with a pair of pliers or channel locks and pull them out. They're not difficult to get out. It's just, you know, time consuming, tedious job. You need to decide whether you're going to keep your old foam or not. If your foam's shot and you have to get new foam, obviously you can bypass this right altogether, but I can tell you now the foam's expensive. It's like about $120 per piece. So you're talking about the bottom piece and the back piece, you know, $240 worth of foam for each seat. So, you know, you're spending another $500 in foam, which just seems ridiculous. I don't know why it's so expensive. Another alternative, if your foam is bad, go to Walmart and buy some of that batting. It's like this stuff they stick in like quilts and stuff, and just take some glue and spray your foam and then put this batting on it and glue it down to the top of the foam. I know it sounds crazy, but in the 85 I did that just to tighten it up more, and those seats were like super tight. They were really comfortable too. So it's another way to get past, you know, having to buy the new foam, which is really your last alternative, because you don't really want to do that if you don't have to. I mean, you've already spent a ton of money on carpet and seat covers. Now you're going to spend another $500 on foam. I guess it depends on how much money you have and how much money you want to spend. As you can see, I'm working my way around getting all this off. Now those ones in the middle, there's a rod through there where the hog rings go around. You don't have to pull those hog rings off to get that out of there. See, you can see everywhere I've been pulling these out, and some of these are really sunk in there, kind of hard to find. Now, almost got all these out of this one. This is the bottom piece. You can see now why I like to watch movies while I'm doing this. It takes a long time, and this is cut down extremely. You're not seeing it in regular time. Alright, here's the new seat cover. You can see instead of having a straight wire on these side ones, it has more of a rubber type material in there to clamp onto. But it's missing the steel straight lines in many spots, so you either have to buy a kit with those in it. You can buy hog ring kits with those lines in it. I bought a hog ring kit when I did the 85. It had lines. I had some lines left over, and I had a lot of hog rings left over for some reason. So I did not buy another kit. I decided to just take the wires, the straight wires out of the old seat cover because there's nothing wrong with them. I can clean them up and just reuse them again. And I'm going to be throwing the rest of this away anyway, so it didn't seem to matter. So this is me cutting those straight wires out to reuse in the new seat cover. Okay, now I'm installing all these wires into any place that didn't have one, which there were a lot of places that didn't have one. I'm not sure why they don't just put them in the seats, but you know, I guess it's just another thing you have to get. But as I said, the old ones were fine. I just cleaned them up, stuck them back in. They worked fine. You have to have these wires in order to hog ring things down, because without them you're just going to hog ring the material itself and it's going to rip and fall apart. So you need these wires in there. Now we're finally to that foam. So I'm trying to pull it on as tight as I can. And what I like to do is work from the middle and kind of work my way out. That center crevice, or whatever you want to call it, that seam right there, if you want to push that in the middle. I like to hog ring it there first because that kind of tightens everything up pretty good. Then I do those side ones. And what I like to do is take a hook and go in and grab that wire and pull it up. So you can see I'm taking a smaller hook that I have and I'm hooking the wire, and then I'm pulling it into the seam, or the, I don't know what you want to call that opening there. Pull that into that really hard, and then I put the new wire down. This is one of the new wires I had left over from my last job. Pulled it up, and now I'm going to hog ring it. And here's the hog ring tool. Simply set the hog ring in there, and it holds itself in place, which is nice. And then you just got to squeeze it. It's really simple. I don't remember what I paid for those. I got that when I got the hog ring set and everything when I did the 85 Corvette. I don't think it was very expensive. You can get various tools. Some are more expensive than others, but they're all pretty reasonable. But I pulled that in as tight as I can and then hog ring it to the wire. Now we have the first of multiple hog rings that we're going to put in done. As you can see, it's pulled in pretty nice and tight. It's really as tight as it can get. And now I'm just going to start putting in hog rings. Finish off that center. Now I'm going to start working on this side. It's the same procedure. I grab the one through there and pull it up as tight and hog ring it in. Now, obviously, I'm not someone that does upholstery. This is how I do it. I'm sure there's some people out there going, "That ain't how you do it." And you might be right. I don't know. This is the way I did it. It works for me. When I got done, it looked good, so I was happy. And it's in there. It's not going anywhere. I mean, I used a ton of hog rings on this thing. Now it's pretty much the procedure. You just keep putting hog rings on, keep pulling things tight until you get her done. And it will take a while. That's why it's nice to do it inside when you're watching the TV or something. Here's one side done. It's pretty tight. I haven't finished the other side yet, and you can see how it's all baggy and stuff there. So I'm going to finish that side. hopefully get done with this bottom cushion. All these edges are hidden once it's set in the seat. You don't see any of this stuff. But here's the bottom done. And it turned out pretty nice. I'm pretty happy. I mean, there's if you have some waves and stuff, you can take that heat gun and kind of heat it up and work those waves out. But this is pretty tight. And you can see I have hog rings all the way around this thing. I end up hog ringing those down too, even though you really wouldn't be able to see those. See, now you can see I hog ring those down also, but those are pretty much hidden under the top cushion. I didn't want them moving around, so I went ahead and stuck a hog ring in each one of those too. Now we can move on to the top cushion, and guess what? We're back to pulling out hog rings again. And there it is all the way around, and in the center. It's the same process, it's the same thing all over again. Notice there was a Pepsi glass on the counter. I do not drink Pepsi, I drink Coke, so just to clarify that, I do have a really nice Pepsi glasses though. And I guess I really don't need to show this again. It's pretty much the same as the other cushion, but I was wanting to show one complete seat. I really have nothing to say or anything new to add to this because you're basically pulling out hog rings and then putting them back in again. I guess you can get two different types of covers too. I mean, I like the solid covers like this, but they sell the perforated covers too that little holes all through them. Not really sure the purpose of that. I guess maybe it breathes better. I don't know. But I've always liked the solid seats much better. The seat covers better. As you can see, it's very time consuming getting all these hog rings out and getting this off of there. I can say that I did watch two movies. I watched Mad Foxes, which is actually Stingray Part 2 over in another country. I hope to review that movie on the channel in the future. It's really weird. And also Action USA, which is a pretty good action movie, which also has a Corvette in it. So hopefully I will review that movie too in the future. So be sure to subscribe to the channel. Here I'm plugging subscriptions again, but subscribe to the channel because there's a lot of Corvettes crazy stuff I have. Okay, I finally got this seat cover off, and once again I'm cutting out those straight wires to use in the other new seat cover. I know it's tedious work, but there's nothing wrong with these wires, and they clean up nice, and as you can see, I'm sticking them right back in to the new seat cover. So this works out perfect. It's really important that you do this. Oh, you can see my dog Karma off in the background, wondering what the hell I'm doing. Okay, and we're back to putting it on and getting it on as tight as we can. Obviously this cover is a little bit more intense than the bottom one, but it's still the same procedure. I try to work in the middle first, and then well, it looks like I've kind of jumped ahead here. It looks like I already got the center in. I don't know what happened to the video for that, but I got the center in already. I'm trying to work on the top center, it looks like. I'd say the biggest thing I can say about doing this is you just want to get it as tight as you possibly can. You want it, when you get done, you want it to be as smooth as you can. And like I said, you can heat it up and smooth it out a little more if there are any pieces that aren't completely flat. But as you see, I keep flipping it over and checking it. I'll pull something tight, flip it over and check it, make sure the spot that I did looks good, and then kind of continue on. So like I said, I watched 2 movies, probably about, I guess it took me 3.5, 4 hours to do 2 seats completely, get the covers on. And here it is done, finally. I guess I just skipped ahead here and show you the finished procedure. You can see all the hog rings going all the way around this thing. There's a lot of hog rings. And it looks pretty good. Now we're going to put these things in the car finally. And the bottom seat, you kind of just stick in there. You gotta reach underneath and flip that little clip up to kind of hold it in place. Sometimes you gotta take one of those hook tools or a screwdriver or something, grab it to pull it up, but this one actually popped up pretty easy. And that's all it holds that into place. Now we gotta work on those clips, which we talked about in the first video about putting them in. Now, they're difficult to get in. I can tell you that right now. And as you see right there, I have a tool in my hand. I'll show you a close-up of that in a minute. I'm using that to get that behind the clips back there. Because you can take this tool and put it on the rod that's in the cushion and then push it behind the clip, which makes it way easier. So after dealing with that for a while, now this one went in really easy. See, I barely pushed it. I had that one clip on the right side in already, and I just barely pushed it, and the other clip popped right in. Now I had to wrestle with this headrest a lot, and actually I didn't end up having a video showing that, so I'm going to show you the passenger side. I do have a video of that. This is the tool I made. I just took a screwdriver and notched it out where it's rounded where that fits perfectly over that rod. Now here I am on the passenger side. The one side's clipped already. Now I'm going to push this side in. And you can actually hear it clip into place. And yeah, it's in there now. So making that tool makes it way easier to get these in because they're difficult to get in. Now I'm taking that heat gun I have and going over areas where it's a little wavy, and I'm just kind of trying to massage it out. Just heat it up a little bit and kind of push it around and get some of those waves out that are in a couple spots. But the interior is in. It is completely done now. To finish this off, I went and bought a couple C4 Corvette mats from a place on eBay called the Auto Mat Store. It shows $102. Believe it or not, I bought them like 6 weeks ago. I paid $92 for them with free shipping. So even that went up 10 bucks since a month and a half ago, like all the prices I've shown. I really wish I would have taken some video of the seats and the interior before I did this as a comparison. But here it is now, and as you can see, it looks really good. I really like this. The seats turned out really good, and the carpet looks great. I think those floor mats were worth the extra $90 because I really like those C4 emblems on there. It just adds to it. It's a night and day difference between what it was and the way it is now, and it's really comfortable. I mean, I've been driving this around for like 2 or 3 weeks now, and it's really nice. And I'm really happy I did it. It's a good looking car now, and I no longer have that embarrassing interior.
Well, it's finally done. I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. I like adding those mats at the end. I know it's an extra cost I didn't really need, but I like those mats. I like the Corvette, the C4 Corvette emblems on the floor. That just kind of finishes it off. It's a nice little touch. If you haven't watched all the videos, you need to subscribe to the channel, like the channel, go back, and I have this all-in-one playlist, including that headliner video, so you can watch everything from beginning to end. And it'll help you decide if this is what you want to do. If you're thinking about, I want to redo my interior, you might watch these videos and say, huh, hell with that, I'm not going to deal with that.
Oh, no. That's no kind of a thing to say.
It's not that bad. I think about it, I had just a couple days just to hit it hard, it wouldn't have been so bad, but I drew it out over a long period of time with an hour here, 2 hours there, and that kind of makes it a little annoying, but it's not an impossible task to do, so. And you're going to save a ton of money doing it yourself, even though it's still going to cost you a bit, because you saw those prices. I don't know what it is, why prices continually rise on everything constantly. I mean, that's a pretty good increase on what it cost me last year to buy these items and what it's costing now. Well, you saw the prices, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I have a lot more videos coming up. I got a couple C5 videos coming up. I have some Corvette toy videos coming out, and I also have some more movie videos, and I also have a game I'm working on too, and a second game. If you haven't played the first game, check out the channel. And I guess that's it. I will see you on the road.